don't get stuck only making one style of beat. You know, as producers, we enter this journey of music production and we can start to feel like, where do we fit? What style of beat are we gonna create that gonna cause recording artists to actually gravitate towards us? Now, once we reach that point of development and we do finally perfect the sound, we finally have reached that point where we're like, yes, we have accomplished this. We know that we have a fire style of beat. We want to play it for a friend. We want to play it for a songwriter, a rapper. We can comfortably cross our arms and just start smirking because we know we got something. You may not like the first beat. You might not like the second beat. You're gonna like something that I got, because I've spent a whole lot of time being able to make this type of beat, and I know I'm solid because I've already been co-signed by multiple producers and multiple artists. So if you've reached this point, definitely pat yourself on the back, because quite a few producers, quite a few beat makers throw in the towel before they ever get to this point. You finally got here, but now you've ran into a new problem. That new problem is that you only really know how to make one style of beat. Sometimes producers can get a little insecure, maybe a recording artist has told you, is that all you got? Like, you ain't got nothing else? All you got is trap. You ain't got no R&B. You ain't got no boom bap. You ain't got no Afrobeat. Like, you're a music producer, you produce music. Are you a trap producer? And I think sometimes producers can feel a little bit insecure when they are just known for one style of beat, and that's really all, we're super comfortable doing. How do we beat this? How do we get out of this trap? How do we get out of this box that other people might put us in? This is what we do. We challenge our comfort zone. One of the things is, once we do get to the point that we're comfortable creating our particular style of beat, it's very comfortable. We can cook up in the middle of a studio confidently because we essentially know what we're doing. We're kind of making variations of the same beat. How do we get out of our comfort zone? We get out of our comfort zone by trying something different. So all we have to do, sit down in our DAWs and be uncomfortable. I know it sucks. It can almost feel like we're becoming a beginner all over again, because we're in this space where we feel like, what do I do next? And we spent so much time, we spent so much energy getting out of that zone. Now we're finally back there once again. Okay, what do I do? Okay, I'm making a drill beat, but what do I do next? Okay, I'm making an R&B beat. Okay, I added the piano, I added the bass. What do I do next? I'm so used to just doing, that style. I really don't know what to do next. This is a good thing, because growth really comes from being outside of your comfort zone. It's almost like lifting weights. You feel the soreness. It's a type of tension. It's a type of discomfort. If you do the same exercise the exact same way over and over again in the gym, you never change the weight, never change the frequency, you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna develop, because your body is comfortable. And it's the same thing with music. You're way too comfortable, and that's why you're not quite able to create a different style or genre of music. So one thing you could do, you could start with loops. You can find different loops of other genres and try to create that style based around that loop. You're not gonna be good. Here's the thing with exploring with other styles of music. You're gonna feel like a beginner almost. You might even start questioning yourself, because you're so used to this level of proficiency in that style of beat. You're now back down here in this new style of beat, and a part of you may want to just go back to this style of beat because you're so comfortable doing it. But once again, you can't grow if you stay in that comfort zone. So you have to know that you're going to be a novice when you start to explore other styles of beats, other style of music production, and you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Once again, you have to tell yourself, this is a learning process. I don't know everything. I don't know what bass sound to go to next. I don't know what synth sound to go to next, because I'm new here. This is not my normal wheelhouse, but I do want to learn. I do want to grow. I do want to develop. So you have to understand going into it that you're essentially becoming a beginner again, just in a different style. So when you're doing that, please try not to run right back to your comfort zone, close out the session and say, forget it. I'm just going to go back to what I'm used to, because that can handicap you, especially, let's just say, if you want to get into sync licensing and placements, things like that. I've had to break out my comfort zones to get my placements in the sync world, which are primarily just straight pop beats and It's not really my wheelhouse, but I had to learn. I really had to learn on the fly. And you know, part of that is some of the skills that you have from your primary sound, you can start to sprinkle in to the new sound that's not really in your comfort zone, not really in your wheelhouse, and it's going to help you in the process because you know how to make beats. You're just taking that framework and put it into a new style. It's going to have to come with time. Over time, you're just going to have to keep doing it over and over and over again, and it can kind of hit your ego, especially feeling like a novice when you know that you're almost or essentially an expert in a different style. So that's one of the ways that you can start to not just make one style of beat. And if you know there's a particular style that you truly want to explore, don't be afraid to reach out to other producers who are really good at it already and start to do collaborations. Reach out to different producers, say, you know, hey, I want to cook up something with you. Maybe you start with the melody, they add the drums, you do the bass, then you guys create something special. So that's something that I've done before. When I first started exploring Afrobeats, collaborated with the popular Afrobeat producer, I learned so much in the process, just how they use filters, how they use synth leads, all those different things I really wouldn't have decided to do just because it's something that was relatively new to me as far as creating those type of beats, and I learned through those collaborations. So in a nutshell, the way to accomplish not creating just one style of beat is to, one, be comfortable being uncomfortable, becoming a novice all over again. Two, you can also try using loops in that style and trying to build off of there, you know, referencing their beats, really listening critically on how they place things together, and then putting it into the beat that you're creating. So dissecting things and then putting it directly into your beat, and then also collaborating with producers who, you know, from their perspective, they may be just expert in that one style, and you two are coming together, connecting, and then you can learn a lot through those collaborations. I'm telling you guys, I've learned a whole lot about production and how people do things just by collaborating with other producers. So make sure you guys put that in your mental Rolodex. I promise you it's going to help you break out of the comfort zone of just creating one style of beat. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Also, make sure you check out DesmondASounds.com to get your FL Studio Patcher plugins, free guides, free loops, and also make sure you join the Discord. So we got a lot of great things going on there. Thanks for checking out this video. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond.